All right, good morning, traders. Today is October 28th, 2024. Thank you for being here. Thank you, everybody here in the room. I appreciate that. Thank you, everybody out there in digital land. I love that as well. Thank you for the kind comments. Thank you for being engaged. Thank you for finding value in my content. All right, so my SPY pivot this morning is 580. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. All of the Fab 5 are in daily uptrends. SPY closed the 2-hour downtrend, 10-minute downtrend. Diamond Dow and IWM made outside days, closing under bearish traps and under their 17 EMAs. SPY made a higher high and a higher low, closing under a bearish trap but over the 17. QQQ and FNGU made higher highs and higher lows, closing over their traps, which are over their 17 EMAs. Gold and silver, both in daily uptrends. Gold made a new all-time high. Silver made an inside day, closing over a bullish trap over the 17. UNG in an uptrend made a higher low and a higher high, closing above a bullish trap and over the 17. USO in a downtrend made a higher high and a higher low, closing over a bullish trap over the 17. US dollar index still in an uptrend, not liking that. Closed near the 104.31 area. All right, let's go take a look at some charts. All right, we'll start off with SPY. And you can see here we had the, well, we'll go over that pattern in just a minute, the consolidation pattern. Okay, so let's go to the 10-minute chart first. All right, on the 10-minute chart, we left off the day yesterday with a lower, a 10-minute downtrend, okay? We did not break the previous day's lows. This would be Friday. So on Friday, we left with a 10-minute downtrend. All right, on the 2-hour chart, okay, we left with a 2-hour downtrend. You see the 3, that'd be the yellow, 3 EMA, that's the faster moving average. Underneath the slower moving average, that's the 8 EMA. All underneath are 17 EMA. So price was in a 2-hour downtrend and a 10-minute downtrend. On the daily chart, okay, we left off, we had made a higher low and a higher high, closing under the bearish trap, but over the rising 17. That's the green dots right there. So we got a bearish trap because the 3 is underneath the 8, all right? But we also got a rising 17, and we're over the 17 there. So there's SPY on the daily. For this morning, let's dig out the marching orders, okay? So the pivot this morning, I'm just going to move this one up to 580 for purposes of getting us going. So there's 580. We're going to drill down to the 10-minute chart, okay, because we're up over it. All right, so we have a 10-minute uptrend. So if we get a green candle, it's pulling back now, not liking that. But all right, so looking for a green candle over this area right here, okay? So green candle over 580.40, all right? As long as it's not a topping wick candle. In other words, you got more wick than you got body and tail, okay? As long as it's not a green topping wick candle, as long as it's not a doji candle, okay, that would be a buy entry for me. Now, when I buy, I don't buy all at once, okay, because I'm buying options. So what I do is I take 10 to 20% of my position, all right, because my stop's going to be either down right underneath these, right underneath the body of these right here. Okay, so I buy 10 or 20% of my position and then scatter orders below down to my stop. Okay, so I'm not buying in one single shot, one kill thing. I'm using more of a shotgun approach where I start off with 10 or 20% and then I scatter orders underneath for price action to fill in, all right? That way I'm bringing my cost average down. So I'll take 10 or 20% up here and then scatter some down here, okay, so that if price does dip, makes that higher low, I'm getting filled, my cost average coming down, and that's what I'm looking for, okay? So there's SPY on the 10-minute chart, all right? You already see my entry right there, right over 580.40. That's going to be my entry for this morning. And that would be green erases red. So all of this would be the red, and this would be the green to come up. I'm discounting all of this pre-market action. I'm just going to use whatever I have left off with yesterday. Now on the downside, okay, if I get a 10-minute downtrend, again, I'll be looking for red erases green. Probably most likely my entry would be 579.15. Okay, so below 579.15 would be my bearish entry to the downside. Anything below, probably, I'm just going to call it 579 because that would be gap fill right there. And if they decide to go below gap fill, that's where I'd want to be bearish. Coming down to do gap fill would be a normal price action move. So there's SPY on the 10-minute chart with the pivot of 580. All right, let's go take a look at the pattern, all right? Because we worked out the consolidation pattern. So to do this, we're going to drill out on, we're going to fan out here on the 78-minute chart just for examples. Okay, so let me get my drawing tools, cross that out, grab that one right there. So price action comes up, pulls back, up again, all right, pulls back, back up again, all right. This is the channel. Remember the channel line was probably a little bit lower, right about here. Then we came down to the channel line, right about there, because that's where it was, all right, and we made a higher low right there, all right. Now I'm expecting to make a higher high, all right, that's what I'm expecting. We just made the higher low. We're kind of looking for it to happen here at 580. It didn't, all right, it happened a little bit lower than that. That's normal. So now I'm looking for the breakout. So probably either consolidation up here. And like I said, usually the first 10-minute uptrend is not the playable event. The second 10-minute uptrend usually becomes the playable event for the breakout to the upside. So we'll see what happens, all right? So there's the pattern. Up, back, back, up again, and now we get the higher low. Now look for the breakout to the upside. Might not happen today. Might not happen. Might not even happen tomorrow. Okay, but I'm expecting this to happen. That's what I'm expecting. Not to break this low. All right, that's what I'm expecting. So we'll see what happens. But so that's the consolidation pattern. All right, so we got the higher low. So now we're looking for the higher high. All right, so there's SPY. Let's go back out. Go to QQQ. We hit up QQQ on the daily chart. All right, you can see here's QQQ, higher low, higher high, closing over the trap, over the rising 17 EMA, still bullish, same as SPY, still bullish. All right, over the all-time high anchored VWAP, uptrends over the all-time high anchored VWAP is money flowing into the market. That's bullish, okay? Making higher highs, higher lows, that's bullish. Creating this wedge to the upside, that's bullish. All right, so up over the 17, that's also bullish. Market is still bullish. All right, let's take a look, FNGU. All right, same deal, all right? Got a higher low, higher high, closing over the bullish trap or over a trap, over the 17 EMA, over all-time high anchored VWAP, looking for 10-minute uptrends. Inside those are playable events for me to the upside. It's not bearish enough to be bearish. All right, we could get some pullbacks. I'm more interested in the upside in bullish trends to the upside. Bullish 10-minute uptrends to the upside, okay? Making higher lows and higher highs, that's bullish. Over the all-time high, anchored VWAP, that's bullish. Moving up, holding the higher ground, that's bullish, all right? Making higher lows and higher highs, also bullish. Okay, so same thing's happening on QQQ and SPY. Let's take a look at the next one, Diamond Dow. All right, Diamond Dow closing for the third day, for the second day in a row underneath the prior all-time high anchored VWAP there. Okay, that is an all-time high right there, that green candle right here. I'll put the crosshairs on it. That's an all-time high for Diamond Dow. Closing for the second time underneath a prior all-time high anchored VWAP. Breaking these lows puts it in a downtrend right there. There's Diamond Dow. Breaking those lows puts it in a downtrend. Came close, you can see. Not far from breaking those lows yesterday. All right, price action for Diamond Dow, lower high, lower low. No, excuse me, outside day. My bad. Outside day, higher high, lower low. Closing underneath a bearish trap, underneath a flat 17 EMA here. Okay, so there's Diamond Dow on the daily chart. Okay, still in an uptrend. All right, still attached by the daily candle to this prior all-time high anchored VWAP right there. Okay, still attached to it. So you could get that rubber band effect where price action scoops down and brings it back. So we'll look for that free floating candle that goes below this candle here. That would be the rubber band candle. Breaking that candle would be a setup for me for a move to the downside on further melting away. Okay, so there's Diamond Dow, still bullish, still has not made a lower low, still in a daily uptrend, just not over this prior all-time high anchored VWAP. So if I was to play stuff to the upside, this would be the one I would short. If I was going to do pairs, I would definitely short this one. But remember, it's coming right into minor support. Okay, and then I would go long on something really bullish like QQQ. All right, so there's Diamond Dow. All right, a little bit weaker than FNGU, QQQ, and SPY. All right, so there's Diamond Dow, still bullish there. All right, let's take a look at IWM. All right, here's IWM, still making higher highs and higher lows. Okay, here's that pink line. That's that 2024 high anchored VWAP. I think that's a 3-year anchored VWAP right there. You can see we got up there close to challenging that high about 8 days ago. Here's price action for Friday, not yesterday. Outside day, lower high, lower low, higher high, closing under bearish trap under the 17 EMA. Okay, so there's price action still up over that pink line, just not moving up. That's all. All right, making higher lows and higher highs. That's bullish. All right, holding up here over the upper half of the quad lines. That's bullish. Hanging out in the upper third would be more bullish. Being up in quadrant 4 would be right in my lane. Okay, I'd like to see him something in quadrant 4. That would be nice to play this long. So there's IWM, still bullish. So all the Fab 5 still in uptrends, still showing strength. Diamond Dow a little bit less than the others. All right, but everything's still moving up. All right, so there's IWM. Let's take a look at our technicals. T2122. You can see we probably spent the day on Friday meandering through the seller's chop zone. So here we got ramped up here on Friday. We came from the seller's chop zone straight through the midfield, right into the buyer's chop zone, and from there we made lower highs and lower lows. And we wound up closing the day in the seller's chop zone, almost into the sell zone down here. Okay, so big rip right up there. Okay, T2123, selling from almost the beginning of the day to the end of the day. They started out with a couple red candles. They got juicy right here. You got 4 green candles, and the rest of the day a little bit more melting. I said it's be good for probably 5 to 7 days of melting. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 days. Maybe this is it, or maybe we get 2 more. We'll see what happens. I don't see any type of kind of capitulation move yet, so I'm thinking maybe it's not over, but we'll see. They could create an inverse head and shoulders, and then that would be it. All right, so there's T2123 underneath the rising 200 SMA. Now look how far they came. I mean, they came from way down here. These are prior all-time highs. Okay, they came from way down here, okay, in September, and they've been working it for over 2 months straight. So a little 5-day rest, 7-day rest is probably even a 14-day rest. We'll see. Is well in order. Okay, they need to rest so they can get some more spinach and pop to the upside. So we'll see what happens. There's T2123. Here's the 3-bar chart, putting in 3 more red candle bars. Price action still up over the 200 SMA. All right, you can see the 200 SMA closing in kind of fast on price action here. Up over those all-time highs right there. These are the all-time highs, prior all-time highs. So price action just kind of melting. All in all, I mean, doesn't look like a hilltop like this. Okay, it's looking more like moving up, kind of holding the higher ground here. Okay, it's not a quick melt away, like they're not giving it up like they did before. They may eventually give it up and wind up maybe closing somewhere around here. We'll see. I think the rising 200 SMA will provide some support as it begins to fall into it. So we'll see what happens here. So here's T2123. We're going to look at FNGU. Here we are with FNGU. Now this will be Friday's price action. Okay, you can see that nice rip up. Okay, then we got a little, then from after the rip up, failed to make a higher high. So we got pretty much almost a gap fill right here. Left a little bit on the table, okay? See that? Little bit on the table, but almost. You probably even got gap fill. Well, we'll see. Anyways, got gap fill and then just consolidated to the right. Okay, in the pre-market, we're back up at the highs. Okay, so we're looking for price action to make a higher high. That's great. I like that. FNGU's up here already. Looking for that to make a higher high. That would definitely drag the SPY up to make that higher high that we're looking for. So there's FNGU on the 15-minute chart. All right, we'll go back and look at a few sectors. All right, we'll take a look at gold first. So here's gold yesterday, putting in a new all-time high. That's bullish. Silver, also bullish. Okay, price action, got an inside day. That's a lower high and a higher low closing. Over a bullish trap, over the rising 17 EMA, over a prior high anchored VWAP. I think that's a 12-year high right there. Okay, so over the 12-year high anchored VWAP, that'd be the pink line right here. Price action still bullish on silver. Okay, let's take a look at UNG. UNG in an uptrend, all right, making a higher high and a higher low, closing over a bullish trap and over the 17 EMA. Not today, not looking too pretty. Okay, UNG in an uptrend, making higher lows and higher highs. Steep pullback, I got to admit that, dangerously close to almost taking out the all-time lows down here, almost taking out that low right there, that higher low that they made. So steep pullback there. So there's UNG on the daily chart, still in an uptrend, hanging on ever so slightly. All right, let's take a look at USO. USO in a downtrend. They were in a downtrend ever since they broke this low right here. Price action for yesterday This green candle right there, that's a higher low and a higher high, closing over bullish cross or bullish trap under and over the flat 17 EMA. Big drop today. That's all I can say. Big drop today, making a lower low already. So still in a downtrend for USO. So USO still in a downtrend. UNG uptrend. FNGU's in an uptrend. Silver and gold are in uptrends. All of the Fab 5 are in uptrends. Take a look at a few sectors, and then we'll go on to the economic package, SMH. Here's the all-time high anchored VWAP, still moving up, holding the higher ground. Everything's still bullish on SMH. XLK. Here's the all-time high anchored VWAP. Price moving up, holding the higher ground. All right. Everything's still bullish on XLK. XLI. Price moving up, having a pullback to minor support. Still bullish on XLI. Okay. Still up in this upper third of the quad lines. Still bullish. All right. Price action, not quite as bullish as some of the other sectors, but a rest is sometimes needed after making recent new all-time highs. Let's take a look at XLU. XLU moving up, holding the higher ground, still bullish on XLU, up over a prior all-time high anchored VWAP there. Moving up, holding higher ground. That's bullish. Let's take a look at XLF. XLF moving up, holding the higher ground up here, up over prior all-time high anchored VWAP. Price action still bullish on XLF. Let's take a look at IYT. Transports over the blue line. This is the prior all-time high anchored VWAP. Pulling back to minor support. That's these peaks. Looking for some juice to the upside. It looks like they got a nice pop, but they're kind of melting away fast. If this is this morning's candle, and it is. Yesterday's price action, you got a lower high and a lower low closing underneath a bearish trap and underneath the 17. Still bullish, not making any lower lows. All right? So everything's still bullish there. Okay? Closing underneath the upper third, almost closer to the upper half there. Like to see this spin around. We'll see what happens. There's IYT. These are our transports. Still bullish on the transports. I like them a whole lot more when they're in an uptrend. Like this was really nice and exciting. This, not so much. All right, let's take a look at the economics package. All right, on the dollar. Okay, we got the dollar ratcheting back up to close near 104.31. Still in an uptrend. Okay, I wish it would change, but still in an uptrend. Let's take a look at the economic calendars. Should be a busy one today. I think the main event this week for the economic calendar is going to be GDP on Wednesday. I don't see a Fed speaker, Mr. Powell. All right. On Wednesday, we got 8:30 in the morning before the market opens, 8:30. All right, Wednesday is going to be the main event for the economic calendar. And we do got some big earnings coming out this week, so I don't know what's going to be the main event on those, but GDP should be the main event for this week on the economic calendar. Today, not too much happening. Tomorrow, let's take a look at tomorrow's agenda. You got international trading goods at 8:30. We got retail inventories 8:30, wholesale inventories 8:30, Case-Shiller Home Price Index 9 o'clock, FHFA Home Price Index also 9 o'clock. Two different home price indexes. Consumer confidence at 10, JOLTS at 10. On Wednesday, we got MBA mortgage applications at 7, ADP employment report 8:15, GDP 8:30, Treasury refunding announcement 8:30, and a petroleum report at 10:30, pending home sales at 10. Okay, so there's the busy week. The main event is going to be Wednesday at 8:30. I'll visit these two later in the week. Nothing really alarming here, as long as Mr. Powell's not speaking, and we're not going to talk about get PMIs coming out. But other than that, this is going to be the main event, GDP 8:30. Okay, all right. And that's going to take a look at measure what we had for sales all through the month when we had a weak dollar here. Okay, this right here, this business that they did right here, this is not good for GDP. Okay, so, but we'll be looking at this month where price action was really low, and I think GDP should look really good. We'll see what happens. All right, on the earnings. Okay, let's take a look. We're on Monday, the 28th. Okay, we got Fomento Económico Mexicano, sounds like a bank, 172 billion. They're going to report this morning. All right, and then we got Waste Management's going to report tonight, 83 billion. Again, some familiar names, but nothing that's going to move the markets. Tomorrow, big time earnings. Okay, we got both Alphabet's going to report. That's a total of $4 trillion. Okay, so $4 trillion. Google's going to report tomorrow morning. Okay, this can move the markets. Okay, Visa's going to report $500 billion there in the evening. AMD, 248 billion. They're going to report in the evening. Novartis, 231 billion in the morning, along with Google. McDonald's, 218 billion. They're going to report with Google in the morning. HSBC, I think that's a bank, 162 billion in the morning. Pfizer's going to report 162 billion in the morning. Stryker Corporation, 137. They're going to report in the evening. Chubb Limited, also another one's going to report in the evening. Let me just see. Maybe we got another one here. Over 100. Anheuser-Busch, they're going to report in. They're still looking for the P&L or deciding what time they want to report. American Tower, 105 billion. They're going to report in the morning. Mondelez Corporation, 93 billion. And again, some more familiar names like BP, Chipotle, PayPal, okay, Ecolab. Big time report coming out Tuesday. This will definitely take the market. I don't know. We'll definitely make a pronounced move in the market, I think. All right. On Wednesday, what do we have on Wednesday? Let's go back to Microsoft, $3 trillion. And then we got Meta or Facebook, whatever you want to call it, almost $1.5 trillion, $1.4 trillion. They're going to report in the evening on Wednesday. Can remember Wednesday, GDP coming out in the morning. So they don't want to battle with that. So they're going to do theirs in the evening instead of battling with Wednesday's GDP report. Eli Lilly, 847 billion. They're going to report in the morning right alongside of the GDP. Okay, AbbVie, 334 billion. They're going to report in the morning. Caterpillar, 187 billion. They're going to report in the morning. Amgen, 169 billion. They're going to report in the evening. Booking Holdings in the evening, 145 billion. ADP, Automatic Data Processing, 118 billion in the morning. UBS, Banking in the morning, 112 billion. Starbucks in the evening, 110 billion. Oh my gosh, we got some more. I mean, these guys go on. KLA, Clack, I think, 89 billion. All right. Again, more familiar names: MetLife, Public Storage, Aflac, DoorDash. Again, more familiar names, but nothing that's going to move the markets like Microsoft, Meta, Eli Lilly. Okay, so when you report right alongside those, these will probably dominate the news cycle or the price action, especially with retail traders with these, because these have a much bigger impact on the SPY, like these right here, these ones that are up around $2 or $3 trillion. Okay, so let's take a look at Thursday. Apple's going to report $3.5 trillion. Amazon's, is that right? Yeah, Amazon's going to report almost $2 trillion right there. MasterCard, 471 billion. They're going to report in the evening. No, excuse me, in the morning. Apple and Amazon reporting in the evening on Thursday. Huge week for earnings. You can see most of FNGU getting reported here with all the market cap in this week. So MasterCard, 471 billion. Merck, $168 billion. They're going to report in the morning. Linde, 226 billion. Shell, 206 billion. Uber, 164 billion. Comcast, 161 billion. Total Energies, 148 billion. Eaton Corporation, 137 billion. And the list goes on. ConocoPhillips, 121 billion. Bristol Myers, 107 billion. Southern Corp Company, 102 billion. Regeneron Pharmaceuticals, 102 billion. International Continental Exchange, Intercontinental Exchange, 195. Oh, excuse me, just 95 billion. Okay, so a whole lot of market cap reporting Thursday. You know what? Friday, Berkshire's going to report sometime during the day. Berkshire's going to report. I don't know if it's morning or evening. And then you can see Exxon's coming out, 531 billion. Chevron, 275 billion. Eldridge, 87 billion. So a whole lot of market cap. Could see a whole lot of volatility this week. All right, lots and lots of volatility this week with all this market cap reporting, okay? Tomorrow morning, 2 Googles are going to report. That's $4 trillion. That could move the markets, okay? Right there. That could really move the markets. That's what you need to know. Wednesday, GDP in the morning, and then some big boys are going to report in the evening, all right? So there you go. Open interest for Max Payne today. I think it's 480. Excuse me, 580. See if they want to give it to us. All right, Max Payne's 580. We got almost 1.4 puts to every call that expired today. Okay, so 580. All right, you can see price action probably pulling into 580 right now. All right. All right, traders, that's it. I'm going to take questions in the room. I already got a question. I just want to say good morning to Alan, Brad, Rod, Meg, Lenny G, JW, Chip, Mr. Fido, and Robert, Alpha Dog. John, might have missed this, but what's your game plan for today? First entries for new SPY trades. Yeah, it's right here, SPY. Okay, Robert, great question. We're going to go to the 10-minute chart. 580 is my pivot. This is my point right here. I'm looking for a 10-minute candle. That would be all of this green, red being erased. So I'm looking for a 10-minute candle that's over 580.40. All right, a green candle, and it can't be more wick than body and tail, and the green candle can't be a doji. All right, and it can't be a red candle. All right, so as long as it's not a red candle or a green doji or a green topping wick candle, okay, I can play that candle to the upside. So over 580.40 bullish. Okay, underneath this area right here, underneath 579, excuse me, I'm just going to call it right underneath gap fill, right there. right underneath gap fill, which is 579. Okay, below gap fill would be my bearish entry. All right, so over 580.40, that's my bullish entry, and underneath 579, that would be my bearish entry to the downside. So that's the game plan this morning. All right, traders, that's it right now. I'm going to go render my video. I'm going to come back at 9:15 and we're going to open up the market over 580.40 on open. I go long. Yes, I am already long. I will add to my long. Yes. Long on SPY. That's right. Yeah. That's a yes. You're welcome. All right, traders, I will see you all in about 45 minutes.